Welcome to the IllumiNewsroom.
People may still be trying to get their hands on the first chapter product without paying an arm and a leg, but there's another set rumbling on the horizon, and we have our first official details. Titled Rise of the FLOODBORN, this seems to be exploring more deeply the shifty mechanic both in gameplay and in lore. Apparently the FLOODBORN sprang from an oopsie-daisy with the 6 ink colors. Well, enough on that, let's see some cards. Mickey Mouse Friendly Face is a 1/6/3 lore for 6 with, when he quests, you pay 3 ink less for your next character. Very solid, though he comes out a little late himself. Maybe use him in a Sapphire Ramp deck? Maybe we'll see some more high-end Amber cards this set. Then there's the Queen, Commanding Presence, a 4/3/2 lore Floodborn for 5 with Shift 2. This is the first time we've seen a Floodborn with a shift cost other than 2 less than the normal cost. If we see another The Queen for 1 ink, she will be very powerful. As is, I don't think you want to shift her onto Wicked and Vain, because if you're running her, you'd rather have the card draw. But even hard casting her, she's quite powerful. When she quests, she gives an opposing character -4 strength and a friendly character +4 strength, which is insane. Getting a repeatable effect like that is going to make Amber decks very strong. The final new Amber card is a song, Zero to Hero, a 2 ink uninkable. It makes the next character you play cost 1 ink less per character you have in play. Honestly, I think I like this better than Just in Time. On turn 3 with 2 characters in play, it gives you the exact same effect provided your 2-drop sings it. But it's also more flexible because it doesn't just hit 5 drops. This could be a good way to get the new Mickey into play faster. Moving on to Amethyst, we get Elsa Gloves Off, a 3/4/1 lore for 4 with Challenger +3. Solid. I think she's better than Jafar Wicked Sorcerer. She hits harder, and I think the extra 1 willpower is negligible. Next up is Merlin Shapeshifter, a 1/5/1 lore for 4, with when one of your other characters is returned to hand from play, he gets +1 lore pip that turn. Is Befuddle now a good card? I'm guessing we'll see other cards in this set that bounce your own stuff back to hand. With the right combination of other cards, this Merlin could quest for quite a lot, but without that support, he'll be pretty meh. Now for our first new character, Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard, which is just a wonderful combo of adorable and creepy. He's a 5/5/2 lore for 5, which is strictly better than Jumbajuka, but man, Amethyst is getting some great stuff this set. Speaking of great stuff for Amethyst, the Sorcerer's Spellbook, a 3 ink uninkable item with Exert Pay 1 ink, Gain 1 lore. Holy Hera. This is ridiculously good, and it's going to make the already dominant Amethyst Ruby deck nigh unbeatable. The rest of the set better include some item hate outside of Steel, or the meta is going to get very stale. Moving on to Emerald, we only get 1 reveal, Belle Hidden Archer, a 3/3/3 lore for 5 uninkable, Shift 3 Floodborn, with when this character is challenged, the challenging player discards their hand. What the fork? This is utterly nuts. She is immediately going in every single Emerald deck. For Ruby, we get another new character, Raya, Warrior of Kumandra, who is an exact replica of Scar, Fiery Usurper, except she's upshifted to uncommon for being a princess, I suppose. I'm hoping we get a good Floodborn to shift onto this, otherwise this is a hard pass outside of a princess deck. More interesting is Dinner Bell, a 4 ink uninkable item with Exert Pay 2 ink, draw cards equal to the damage on one of your characters, then banish them. This is clearly Radigan's Bell, and the idea of feeding one of your characters to Felicia for some card draw is hilarious. This could net you a lot of cards, say you challenge with a character then sacrifice them. However, 4 is a pretty steep cost, and you then have to pay to do the sacrifice. This could be good, but I could also see it being very clunky. I do like that colors beyond Amethyst are getting card draw options, though. Speaking of card draw, our Soul Sapphire card is Gaston, Intellectual Powerhouse, which is just the best name. He's a 4/4/3 lore for 6 uninkable, Shift 4 Floodborn, with when you play him, look at your top 3 cards, put 1 in your hand, and bottom deck the rest. He's basically a better Robin Hood, though of course inkability and evasive tech are certainly factors to consider. I'm guessing we'll get another shift target for him this set, but even just Arrogant Hunter is a great choice, provided he doesn't reckless himself to death first. Moving to Steel, we have Cinderella Stouthearted, whose art just looks fantastic. She's a 5/5/3 lore for 7, shift 5 Floodborn with resist +2, a new keyword, and when you play a song, you can challenge ready characters. So first off, that last ability is fantastic, letting you get around fresh plays or shield the virtue, but the resist keyword is also neat. It reduces the damage a character takes from single sources. So Cinderella, with resist +2, is basically immune to fire the cannons, grab your sword, and most 1 and 2 drops. That's insane, and it's making me hope Steel gets an item or action that gives another character resist for a turn. Speaking of resist, our final card is Tiana, Celebrating Princess, a 1/4/2 lore for 4, uninkable with resist +2, and when she's exerted and you have an empty hand, opponents can't play actions. That is wild. No be prepared, no a whole new world, no let it go, none of that. Also, my prediction of a Steel Tiana came true, just one set late. We also got a peek at some product and packaging. The booster packs feature the new Raya and also a new Beast and Queen of Hearts. Let's go! The starter decks are Amber Sapphire with the new The Queen and Gaston, and Amethyst Steel with the new Merlin and Tiana. There are also sleeves featuring Sisu and a new Mulan, as well as playmats with Winnie the Pooh and a different new Beast looking like a gargoyle, presumably a Floodborn. Finally, there's a new set of enchanted rares for Disney 100, all illustrated by Disney animators. Half of them are vanillas, Stitch Abomination, Maleficent Uninvited, and Maui Demigod, and the others aren't anything too powerful. The new Mickey and Elsa, and probably the one most interesting to me, Genie Powers Unleashed, illustrated by Eric Goldberg, who was the original animator of Genie from the movie. Well, the hype train never stops. I'm guessing we're going to have radio silence for the next month or so, though, and previews will ratchet back up in October. Until then, keep an eye out for the first chapter reprints, and remember, only pay MSRP.